A former Tanzania opposition member of parliament, God Bless Lema, has been arrested in Kenya pending deportation. Lema was nabbed Sunday as he crossed into the country through the Namanga border with his wife and 3 children, aided by his lawyer, Professor George Wajakoya. The former member of parliament of Arusha Urban constituency was escaping what he termed political persecution. Lema is among vocal opposition members of parliament who have rejected the re-election of President John Pombe Magufuli, and he had been arrested with 2 other leaders of the opposition Chadema party, but was released without charge. Amnesty International, in a statement, has protested Lema's arrest and the apparent plan to deport him, terming it a violation of human rights.
Kuondoka nyumbani milele kwa sababu ya mambo ambayo yanaendelea. Kwa hizo nilipokea taarifa serious na nimekuwa tailed na hata familia yangu imeconfirm. Kwa niliamua nisipuuze kama wenzangu ambao wamekuwa wakifanya. Wanapokea taarifa za either attempt assassination ama kuuawa. Poleza marafiki wengi sana waliopokea taarifa kama ambavyo mimi nimepokea.
The UNCHR, of which Kenya is signatory, says that once one claims an asylum in any country which is a member, the person is supposed to be processed through the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. And that's what ought to have happened. But up now, they have locked up my client at the police station, awaiting decisions from above. But luckily we have spoken to senior government officials who have assured us that they are looking into the matter. But in the interim, I decided to take the wife and the 4 children with me to Nairobi last night. And right now, a team of lawyers from my office is now processing them. They have taken them for processing at the UNCHR.
God Bless Lema was among 3 other opposition leaders who called for countrywide demonstrations and demanded a repeat poll, rejecting the results of an election in which President John Pombe Magufuli won a landslide victory, securing 84% of the vote, beating rival Tundu Lissu of the Chadema party. The arrest was seen as a continuation of the government's clampdown on the opposition, having protested Lema's arrest and the apparent plan to deport him, terming it a violation of human rights. Amnesty International, in a statement, said that Kenya has the international principle of non-refoulement prohibits Kenya from turning away people seeking asylum in the country. Let's now speak live to Demas Kiprono, who is Amnesty's campaign manager for safety and dignity and also an advocate of the court. Demas, many thanks for your time. What obligations and options does Kenya have in this situation under international law?
Well, under our constitution, Article 2, 3, and 2, 5, and 4 of the constitution, international law and international norms form part of Kenyan law, properly so called. So, if you look at our laws, our Refugee Act, and our signatory status to the Refugee Convention of 1951 and the African Union Refugee Convention of 1969, we have certain obligations to any person who's fleeing their country or under pain of attack, politically or physically. So if Honorable Lema has come to Kenya and is seeking asylum, we are bound by law to first of all process him so that he can get audience with the UNHCR, and they can look at him and first of all assess whether he qualifies as an asylum seeker or as a refugee. That means that he also has the right to appeal if he's not happy with whatever happens in that process. But very importantly, Kenya is a signatory to the non-refoulement principle, which says that a person cannot be returned to harm's way if they cross the borders to another country and say that they are under threat. So it is imperative by us and by our laws to ensure that he is not returned where he might face persecution.
That 1951 convention and the 1961 OIU convention as well on the rights of refugees, again, like you say, according to this statement by Amnesty International, would mean that returning him back to Tanzania, where there is possible persecution in itself, would amount to human rights violation by Kenya. But as an advocate of the High Court, what part of the law is Kenya using in this apparent decision to deport him back to Tanzania?
I think, first of all, we have to make it clear that we have not seen any written decision to return him back. So it is safe to assume that due process will be followed and that he will be processed in the right offices to determine his asylum application and what happens to him after that. However, as the law stands, as the Refugee Act of 2006 stands that we passed in Parliament, we must protect his right to be out of harm's way and ensure that we follow our own laws. We do not follow political pressure. We follow our own laws in terms of ensuring that his rights, his family's rights, are protected. Kenya has, in the past few years, hosted individuals from Tanzania who, some of them have been shot. And we've heard that there have been arrests going on in Tanzania after the election. So it is safe to assume that these applications are in good faith and are by someone who is legitimately thinking that their safety or their life or limb is under threat. So it is upon us to follow our own laws, which we promulgated and which we call our own laws as per our Constitution, Article 2, Sub-Article 4 and 5, to ensure that all our international obligations are followed to Mr. Lema and his family, and also just for our own sake, because we also know that in the past, Kenyans have, as we know, have gone into exile, have sought asylum in other countries, and it's only when things that stabilized that they were able to come back to Kenya. So this is an international norm that is recognized internationally, and we should play our part, not play politics with the life of an individual, and ensure that the law is followed.
All right. Many thanks for your time. There is Demas Kiprono. He is Amnesty International's campaign manager for safety and dignity, speaking about the fate of former Tanzanian opposition member of parliament Godbless Lema, who has been arrested in Kenya, possibly pending deportation after he was illegally crossing into the country through the Namanga border. More details still to come on the other side of the break. This is News Desk. Take a short break now to stay with us.